degree. It's Indianapolis Center. Do you have any test operations restricted area 2508?
Aries 31, roger. Traffic is quite luminous and is exhibiting some non-ballistic motion, over.
Roger, Aries 31. Continue descent at your discretion, over.
Okay, Center. The traffic is approaching head-on, ultra bright, and really moving. They're right by us right now.
There are 1,000 UFO sightings reported around the world every month. 90% of these sightings can be explained, but 10% cannot. Officially and unofficially, the U.S. military has been investigating UFOs since 1947. Their top secret goal is to find out what's behind these unexplained sightings. The Pentagon classifies them as unusual airborne anomalies, but a better term is X-Files. Join us now as Mack Maloney and Commander Cobra explore these unsolved cases, UFO incidents that baffle even the U.S. military. This is Mack Maloney's Military X-Files. And now, here's Mack Maloney.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. Well, what a show we have for you tonight. We have a real gang with us tonight, so let me introduce the members of the gang, a.k.a. the posse. First of all, girls, get ready. Sit yourself down. Get your mister. Well, I almost said get your fister. Hang on. Wowee. Get your mister. Get your big box of Kleenex. Get your fan. Get your big box of wipes and your squeegee. Because the very famous Juan is here. Juanie.
Hello, Mac. Hello, everybody. Hello, girls, especially. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the show. It's going to be awesome tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with us. You're going to hinge on every word of this show.
Interesting. Okay. What do you have, a Cleveland Indians hat on? What are you wearing? Oh, it's a Rolling Stones hat. Okay. All right.
Cleveland Indians
I don't
hat.
know. It just came out of the blue. Also,
Chief Wahoo's logo.
That's right. Yeah, I think they retired him. Up there in Maine, in his compound, formerly a bunker, they know him on the street as Coco, but we know him as Commander Cobra. CC.
As always, Mac, thank you. It's a pleasure to join the formation and get on the wing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, the chicken wing.
That's usually where you say chicken wing,
Yes.
or one of your other patented moves there, bro.
Laughs.
That's when you're supposed to slip that right in. I know.
Okay. All right. The chicken wing.
How about a new hand signals? You're leading the formation. Oh, you're giving me the kiss off. I got it. Okay.
We're a radio show. Hand signals. Also, going sideways on the totem pole, or maybe, I don't know whether it is where it is. He's up there, national correspondent. He's up in Battle Creek, Michigan. Switchblade Steve Ward, Switchy.
Great to be here sideways.
So, yeah, sideways on the totem pole. Is that embarrassing? Is that...
Sideways switch, sideways, sideways switch.
Okay. Yeah. That doesn't bother you, Switch? You just as long as you're on the pole, you're okay?
No, I just go with the script.
Oh, go with the script. Okay. Someday someone should send me the script.
Good. You look well-groomed tonight.
He's very well-groomed.
Doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
His hair is part the same.
What's wrong?
Part the same way I saw it the last time, but he has been very circumspect and
Interesting.
letting me, connect with him offline, off show. So
Also,
He got it vacuumed.
Also, that voice you hear is our security chief, Willie Clubb. Willie, how you doing?
It's good to be here horizontally.
Yes.
Hi, folks.
All right.
the man that knows all the intimate details, MMMX.
Think of that. Okay. Everything good with you there, Willie?
Everything's excellent, thanks. Mac.
Okay, you're all moved in, et cetera.
All moved in. Red Sox are winning.
Yep.
Patriots are winning, kind of.
Wild card, baby.
Well, wowee, wild card. You know, in July they were going to run away with the World Series.
Realistically have a chance?
Yeah.
No.
Right now.
No, they don't.
Right now they do.
No, they
I
don't.
wouldn't put
Are
any
you
money
kidding
on
me?
them.
I wouldn't put any kind of money on
Yeah.
them. They're terrible. Also, let's get off of baseball for the two beauties who are joining the Beast. First of all, is our favorite good witch up there in upstate New York. Raven is here. Raven, how are you?
Hi, my friends. I'm so good. How are you?
Good. Got a
We're
bun.
well, Raven.
Single bun tonight.
Good, too.
Got the one bun.
Yeah, she got the
One
headset
bun.
bun tonight. The headset control bun.
The headset control
It doesn't
bun.
roll. Yeah, it doesn't roll back off the back of her head
The
like it did a couple
HCB.
weeks back on that show.
Yeah, that was almost a disaster.
FCC was getting ready to roll in on this when they heard about that.
Anyway. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that show. I don't remember any of that. Also making a I'm saving the best for last, and the second best is second last. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Well, yeah, you better time that right.
Number 2 and number 1.
And the
wow.
And making a special appearance in the studio with us is UFO Mechanic Al Ronaldo. Al, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Mac. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Everyone looks good, right?
Excellent.
They're all mainlining.
Good to hear.
Al, are UFOs metric or American?
They're metric.
Metric.
They're metric.
They're
okay.
international.
Just checking.
Yes.
Yes. It's only us that are
I'd like
stick to the.
I'd like to put that into dispute.
Yeah. Well, let me introduce the second beauty then with us. Okay. I'm sorry, Al. I guess you were the second beauty.
Yeah.
Let me the third beauty. Making another rare appearance for us. I think I just heard Bob the Ghost on the door. Did you hear someone knocking at the door? No? Okay.
No.
Must have been you putting your Budweiser. I mean, your Coke can down. Is Lois Lane is with us. Hello, Lois.
Hey.
Yes.
Here.
Lois Lane appearance doesn't get
Well.
applause anymore.
All right, let's.
What's going on here?
Okay. Good.
What is that, like $3?
Well, no one else got. No one else got applause. Okay. Now you had those glasses on. Put those glasses back on there for a second. Let's see what's going
She's
on.
one of the unsung heroes in this world right now.
Okay. The glasses lend that little bit of a.
Good luck. It's a good look.
That's
It's
a good
absolutely good look.
So we're all here tonight, and what we're going to be doing later on, we're going to be talking to our friend Bishop Ron Feyl-Enright. He's a bishop out in Catholic bishop out in L.A. He's an expert on a number of things having to do with religion and the paranormal. He's somebody who has taken part in a number of exorcisms, and we're also going to be talking to him a little bit about the apparent Marian apparitions, which we did a show on about a month ago that lots of people love. This is when somebody who is, called the Blessed Virgin Mary, the Mother of Christ, who appears to people. It's been happening over the centuries. It's happened at Lourdes. It happened in Fatima, and we were talking about how it happened in Egypt in the 80s, and they have a film of it. It's very creepy, odd, let's say. Going to be talking to him about that as well. Also, we got a few other things planned, but before we get to them, I just want to ask, Al and I were talking off air the other day, and we found out about this place called the National Quiet Zone, and I couldn't believe that there was a place in this country that they actually don't let you play radios, have any kind of radio communications, whatever. It's down in West Virginia, right?
Yes, it borders West Virginia, and a touch in the corner of Maryland. And it actually occupies 13,000 miles.
Wow.
Square miles.
Square miles, yeah. Huh?
And it ends up taking in the Blue Ridge Mountains, I believe, and some of the Blue Ridge Mountains and some of the Allegheny.
Part of it. Sure does.
And it is two main things that go on there. One of them being an observatory, a radio observatory, where they have one of the biggest telescopes. It's 2.3 acre.
A radio telescope?
Radio telescope.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I guess you can sign up, and if they find your submission worthy, they'll let you come in and use
And
the
use
thing.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do that.
And then the other part of it is nearby. There's a U.S. Navy listening post.
Oh, right. Yes, right. Yeah.
And that intercepts every communication coming to this country from, I guess, Europe.
Wow. I thought it was a place where they just wanted everyone to be quiet, but there's more kind of nefarious things going on, right? They have secret stuff there.
Yeah,
and-
there's a lot of stuff going on there. But some of the restrictions that I was reading about, I mean, if you live in Zone 1 near that radio telescope, you can't even have a microwave oven on the premises.
Really, yeah.
Right. And you can't have a digital camera. You can have a regular film camera, but you can't have digital. And there's no gasoline-powered vehicles allowed. You have to have diesel because of the ignition
No, that's real
systems.
quiet.
The ignition systems.
That's the
Or
electrical
electron-
EMI that's coming
Yeah.
up the gasoline engine.
Do a lot of people live? I mean, I'm gonna guess it's a lot of forest land. and
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like
a lot.
that.
It's a pretty desolate area, but people do move there to get away from radio. If they're
Get away from everything.
Yeah, if they're hypersensitive to radio waves, they move into that area
Wow.
so they can take off their tin foil hats.
Oh, wow.
That hypersensitivity is a real thing. I've visited some customers that said, "Look, can you make sure that the Wi-Fi is disabled on my router or Comcast gateway or what have you?"
Yeah, because you can't have Wi-Fi there. It's amazing.
Wow.
Cell phones are very, very limited.
What happens if they catch you? They shoot you?
They don't have legal authority to do a lot, but they can send the feds in, and the feds will fine you some amount.
Right, yeah.
But if you have even like radio stations have to have very directional antennas to keep it away from that, and they have to be very low power.
Right.
And they have to shut down at certain hours.
You know, might be interesting is, there are some people, and I know Cobra, you're one of them, and there's lots of people around the world where they have experienced the hum. They hear a hum. Right. I wonder if you went to the National Quiet Zone, whether, not you specifically, but someone who has the hum problem, I wonder if it goes away when you go there. That would, if it does, then that would kind of suggest the radio waves.
In part, Mac, I have a little field experience I can share with you. A couple of years back when I was working at a series of projects all through Western Pennsylvania and West Virginia, I was inside that zone, not by a lot of distance from one of the sites, and I did still experience. And I recently had that pop back up. I told you that I had not heard it and experienced it here in Maine, and it must have known that I was coming on the show tonight because it revisited me in the early hours this morning.
Okay. Can you imitate it? Can you hum it? What's it sound
all
like?
It's got this kind of run that it goes on, and then it stops. And all I can tell you is it sounds like something like a field magnetic drive that you would see on like a motor that's giving that kind of vibration and sound. It's very, very strange. I know it as soon as I experience it, that it's back.
Okay. It's not
I thought maybe it was gone because I told you when I had some physical changes, with old age here and going on medication for blood pressure, I thought for sure it seemed to be the event that made it stop. It's back.
It's not one of those quote unquote neck massages that might be running somewhere in your house.
Yeah, I would love it, but it's funny you should talk about it. It's got that kind of vibrational kind of energy. It seems like if I had something like that on there, or one of those sport massages, like if you got like a bad muscle, or maybe that looks like something that Bezos would take to space, something like that.
Right. Yes. Now we're into the phallic symbols. Okay. All right. Coco.
I noticed that myself. After a couple of beers, I get that.
Do you really?
It's like a hum. It started, recently. I think it's where the location I moved to, because I never had that hum until we got here.
Okay. All right. Wow. After a couple of beers, what kind of beers?
But you've done a fabulous job, Club, making the background look the same from the last location, your class command center. It's amazing how close the two of them look.
Yeah, I don't like change.
No. Who does? No one does. So listen. Tonight we have a bit, as they call it in the business, and it's we get letters for Coco all the time, and we put this together. And we know that Coco was in how many years were you in the Coast Guard there, CC?
16 years in the Coast Guard, sir.
Okay, and you're in the Air Force at some point too, right?
Air Force 6 years prior to that.
So you're in the Coast Guard for 16 years. Okay, all right, and you did everything, went everywhere, correct?
Just about.
Okay.
Well, between the two of them, just about. Okay. Both polar caps, as well as most of the Pacific, parts of the Atlantic, all through Europe. And then, of course, when I retired from the military, spent extensive time in the Middle East and in the Balkans, as you know very well.
Yes. Well, okay. So tonight's bit is going to fit right in. Thank you for your service, Coco. Thank you.
Thank you all for being great citizens that service was worthy. So thank you.
That. Okay, so we have top 10 reasons tonight. Top 10 reasons Coco went into the Coast Guard and not the Army. Okay? Got the bit there, JJ? You got that? Top 10 reasons.
A Navy guy pitching to a Coast Guard guy. This is going to go well.
Why Coco went in the Coast Guard and not the Army. Okay? We ready?
You said that to me.
Oh, Raven has the list.
You sent it. You didn't send it to me.
If one's on board with the bit, then the bit's going to work. That's all.
I'm totally on board.
Okay. All right. Raven, you have the list.
I have the list.
Okay. Here we go.
Please cue the music right here.
Boom. Okay. Top 10 reasons Coco went in the Coast Guard and not the Army. Please. Number 10.
He wanted to follow in the footsteps of his lifelong hero, Popeye.
Okay. Now listen. All right. This we understand, but Switch and I had a conversation off air the other day. I want to ask you this question. Do they call people who are in the Coast Guard, do they call them sailors? Coco?
Mostly Coast Guardsmen,
Okay.
Coasties.
Then how can
the sailor term fell away after World War II because that's when the Coast Guard was with the Navy.
Okay, how can Popeye then be called the Sailor Man? He's not in the Coast Guard, dude. He's in the Navy. We've had this discussion many times before.
No, you're incorrect. The data has been conclusively shown. You guys are all joiners and wanters to have Popeye. Popeye is a Coast Guardsman. I showed you the evidence.
Why would they call him a Sailor Man?
You did.
Why do they call him a Sailor Man?
Man was a term that was used in the 20s and 30s to describe coasties.
Okay, all right. Number 9, please, Raven.
Sometimes they're called bathtub sailors.
Top there. Well, we didn't want to get into.
And now I don't call them that, but I have heard.
Coming from a bubblehead, that really hurts.
Wow, meow. Switch, meow.
Well, I'm proud to be a bubblehead.
Okay, number 9, please, Raven. The reasons why Coco went in the Coast Guard and not the Army.
Number 9, the Army already had a model for G.I. Joe.
See, they already had G.I. Joe out there, so, you know. Wow. Okay, all right. Number 8.
No comment.
Number
Just
8, please. Reasons why Coco went in the Coast Guard and not the Army.
Number 8, he didn't want to deal with his pussies at West Point.
You know how they are.
I do want to throw in, though, that I was a guest speaker at West Point. They asked me to come up and just talk about my time flying the X-49. So West Point does hold they treated Mrs. Coco and I like royalty. It was a very, very nice experience.
Okay, we might have to edit that one out. Number 7, please. Rick.
Number 7, he's a water sign. You're a water sign?
He's a water sign. I don't know, I guess. I mean, the right is yes.
Actually, I'm a Scorpio, so I am not a water sign.
Yes, you are.
One of those.
No. Yeah, you are.
No.
That's a water sign. No. Fight me.
Fight?
Okay, anyways.
Okay, wow.
Number 6.
Number 6.
He wouldn't have been able to do his lesbian dial-a-date in Antarctica.
That's right. You wouldn't have had that opportunity.
It's lesbian love connection if we're going to start throwing trademark names out there. And
in Antarctica. Okay. Okay. See? You never know what happens when you join the Coast Guard. All right, please, the next one. Top 10 reasons Coco joined the Coast Guard and not the Army.
Number 5, the Coast Guard is a better place to fight the blood-sucking water.
Go ahead. Water, zombies from outer space.
Oh my God, I didn't. Hang on. Can I do that over again?
Wow.
No.
Might be funnier this way.
Email cut it out weird.
That's okay. I think that really is.
Might be funnier that way. Okay. All right.
That's correct.
It's easier. That's right. That's how he joined to battle the blood-sucking water.
Have you seen any water-sucking zombies?
Not lately.
So it was successful. Mission accomplished.
Not lately. Okay. Next one, please. Raven.
Okay. Number 4. He wanted to save the clams.
He wanted to save the clams. The Navy apparently is not doing that. Okay, next one, please. Reasons why Coco went in the Coast Guard and not the Army.
Number 3. He would have never seen 100 tons of Colombian booger sugar up so close.
Okay, right.
Booger sugar.
Whoops, okay.
What is that?
You know what it is. What is it? Listen to Juan. What is it? Booger sugar. Okay, number 2, please. Raven.
Number 2, he wouldn't have been nominated for an Oscar for his performance in Bad Boys 2.
See, there you go. All right.
Right there.
That would have been another opportunity lost if you had joined the Army.
You don't get a side card going in the Army. Just telling you that.
That's right.
Right place at the right time.
Right. I actually saw that movie about 3 months ago, and it's not bad, Coco. Not bad. I mean, your flying is superb, of course.
Thank you.
Martin Lawrence and the Fresh Prince there running around, chasing people.
I got to tell you right now, I didn't get to meet those two, but the stunt doubles for them were some of the greatest human beings, and I am so envious of the shape that those two men were in. Unbelievable physical specimens. They were in great shape. Real pros.
Okay, so we're down to the number 1 reason Coco joined the Coast Guard and not the Army. Please, Raven, number 1.
Number 1, he would never have met Miss Coco, and hence Teddy the Ballless Horse.
That's right. You see, those two people are in your life.
And it's funny you bring that up, Mac, because Teddy the Wonder Horse just came home from the vet. He was trailered in a little while before we started the show.
Yes.
He had his teeth done and x-rays to see what's going on with his hip.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very happy to be home.
Oh, really?
And I, as a good stable boy, trotted him up to the pasture, and he is out there with the gals telling him about his...
What good is that?
Nice.
What good is that, though? Because he doesn't have the tool bag to do any work with. Yes or no?
You can dream, candy.
Oh, you can dream.
It's a little bag.
Okay.
Well, he's got the drill. He just doesn't have all the screws.
Doesn't have the wire. Okay. Hey, listen.
Doesn't have the bits. Yeah.
The bits, right? The correct bits, right? The 3/4 inch is hard to get sometimes. All right, look at.
Al, the UFO mechanic, doesn't jump in there often, but when he does,
Yes,
it's a marker.
It's a marker.
Right. There's people across the country right now, across the globe right now, that are marking down Al UFO bits now.
Bits.
Hey, I was actually a witness to a stallion breeding one time.
Okay,
it
all
was
right.
something to behold.
You want to save that for Mac
for another time?
For Mac After Dark? Okay. I've heard that story, and it's not really proper for children or adults, as it turns out. But look, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a catch-up breath, regroup, and take a commercial break now, and we'll be right back after this. Now, we have quite a show for you tonight. Coming up later on, Bishop Ron Feyl-Enright is going to talk about Marian apparitions and our aliens, angels. And this is Mac for the entire gang. Wait, I don't want to say that I'm signing off. I want to say we'll be right back after this.
Hey fans, Lois Lane here, and I think it's time for you to get some free swag from Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show. We have badges, pins, bar coasters, and some very cool 3D show logos that we just can't wait to give away. Just go to MackMaloney.com and hit the contact button. Send us an email with your mailing address, and we'll ship the free swag out to you quicker than Switch can eat breakfast. That's MackMaloney.com and hit the contact button to get your free swag today. Requests for tasteful news of Wanwan will be handled on a case-by-case basis.
We've all heard of Area 51, the U.S. government's top secret base in the Nevada desert. But have you ever heard of Area 52, or 53, or 54? 54? How about Tonopah Test Range, or the Navy's secret base inside the Bermuda Triangle? Find out about them and more in Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Did Richard Nixon show Jackie Gleason a crashed alien spaceship near the swamps of Florida? Is it true that more UFOs are seen over a small Scottish village than anywhere else in the world? And is there a secret place in Russia that some people think is heaven on earth? In Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, you'll visit more than a dozen top secret places around the globe. The haunted forests of New Jersey, a valley in Colorado where shadows come alive and humans can fly without wings. And where's the only secret base in America that's not been visited by UFOs? You've heard Mac talk all about these places on his radio show. Now you can read all about them yourself. That's Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Now on sale at Amazon.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. This is Mack Maloney. Wow, what a show we have for you tonight. Quickly, let me introduce the members of the posse. Going back to seeing the posse. Girls, First James Wanwan is here.
Hello, girls. Hello, Mac. How's it going?
Okay, everything's good. Coco is up there in his compound up in Maine.
On the wing, Mac. As always, a pleasure.
Is it snowing up there yet? Any snow yet?
No snow.
No? Okay, good. Keep us in the loop, okay? Also, up there in Battle Creek, Michigan, the Battle Creek of the Republic, our national correspondent Switchblade, Steve Ward. Switchy.
It is great to be here tonight.
Okay, good. Everything good with you?
I think I'm still sideways.
Okay. All right. I don't know what that means, but okay. Also, Willie Clubb, our security chief, is here. Willie?
Hi, Mac. Hi, everyone. Great to be here and horizontal.
Horizontal, yes.
Hello, Club.
Okay. Everything secure so far there, Clubby?
Well, as of now, but it's getting a little shaky.
You know how it goes, right?
You know, he sounds horizontal.
Whatever that means. Do I have to break you two up? Do I have to put you in separate
At least I don't look it.
Oh, come on.
Here we go. I knew this was going to happen.
Meow. Okay, look.
And, you know, in Libras, don't forget. Remember that.
Okay. Good.
At least I think I'm a Libra.
All right, listen. Also joining us is, Al Ronaldo, UFO Mechanic, is here in the studio with us.
Good evening, everyone.
Al, everything okay?
Oh, everything's wonderful.
Okay, all right. Also, a good friend, good witch up there in upstate New York, Raven, is with us. Raven.
Hello, my friends.
Okay, one bun.
Hi, Raven.
One bun tonight.
What are we drinking tonight?
Tonight we have 8 days a week IPA.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
Well, the
Hey, where's your
Beatles.
glasses tonight?
You see,
I threw them out.
oh no! People are writing in and say that we want the glasses. You got to get glasses there, my friend.
Yeah, they're quite fashionable
Yes.
for you, Ray.
See, the people
I
have
hate
spoken.
them. No thanks.
Doreen, Lois, you have glasses. Put them on. Let's give us a little show.
You will show.
Yeah.
It's a radio program.
There's something. There's that librarian look. You know what I'm
Matt,
talking about,
she caught
guys?
on already.
Yeah, okay, wow.
She's pretty smart.
Hey, listen. Also, then Lois Lane is with us. Lois, thanks for joining us tonight, Lois.
Fun. It's good to be here.
Okay. All right. Have you laughed yet, Lois? Have you cried yet?
A laugh a minute.
A laugh a minute. Come right. What do we do the other 59 seconds? Come up right up on the microphone there, my friend. Okay. Okay. So. Okay. We have to. Now we're at the skew of the show, the high skew of the show. We have to ask. People want to know. Switchy. Switch, as you know, has in the past few weeks he's kind of outdone himself as far as what he had for breakfast. Yeah, there've been a lot of Mount Everest in there. I get a feeling we're going to go to Death Valley today. I don't know why.
I believe that there's quite a few bookies in Las Vegas that are
I'm looking
waiting
at it.
for the payoff.
Waiting until the
When
line to
this comes
shift.
next. There is on the boards.
If he mentions the word yogurt or energy bar, we're going to lose thousands. So look at Switchy. What did you have for breakfast today?
I wonder how I can get in on some of that Vegas action since I'm the one that determines it, or would that be unethical?
Unethical.
It would be unethical.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Change a call sign to Pete Rose.
Oh man! Holy cow! Where'd that come from? Okay, go ahead.
This morning, I went to Denny's Diner.
Yes.
And I had an all-American slam.
Oh, there we go.
All right, we're good. We're good. Go. What's in it?
It's 3 eggs.
3 eggs.
I had them over easy.
Okay.
2 pieces of white toast.
Yes, white toast. Good for you.
Hash browns.
Hash browns. Also
And
good for you.
2 sausage, 2 bacon, hot black coffee, and water. No one's today.
Water to take his high cholesterol pills. Hey, look at
that's a slam.
Yeah,
I'll
that's a
tell you.
slam. 3 eggs.
It's a good grand slam.
Hash browns. Toast.
Do they call it a grand slam or just a slam now? What do they call it?
Sausage.
This one's an all-American slam.
All-American slam.
They have all
That's
kinds of
different
slams.
from the Grand Slam. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, they have
I just want
grand
breakfast
slams.
food
They
now.
have,
Bulgarian slams.
I just like
Right.
I just like to note that Switch and Zeppelin the pig had the same number of eggs today.
Wow. Hey, Zeppelin, you better watch it.
Well, I bet you.
He got into the eggs. I put the eggs on the table. He got into them, and
I'll bet you he left part of his hash browns, though. I did not leave part of his hash browns. I left some of my hash browns behind and a slice of toast.
Hey,
You
wait a
would be
minute.
correct, sir. Zeppelin leaves nothing on the plate.
You better warn him that there's always moons over Miami.
Pigs in,
Well, that's what I was going to say. You know.
I don't know, Kentucky?
Yeah, I was going to say that his pig Zeppelin eats eggs. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, he wasn't supposed to, Mac. He's a vegetarian 6 days out of the week, but
Right.
he got inside the loop here. I had put the eggs in a tray on the table. He
Okay.
walked by, saw it, and got into it.
And really, so pigs eat eggs. I got to say, if I was
They'll eat anything, but they're not supposed to eat anything but grain-based. They're herbivores, and they'll eat anything else.
I was going to say, if I was a pig, I'd stay as far away from eggs as possible. You know, because you're married sometimes, and you don't want to be ham and eggs. Okay,
Does he eat bacon?
Does he eat bacon?
Club.
There you go.
Bad pig disease.
I'm not going to even dignify. In fact, on the next break, I'm bringing up the Zeppelin so you can see how big he is.
Oh, really?
On
Yeah.
the screen. Yes,
Okay.
I'll
All
bring
right.
him up.
Okay. All right.
He's in the house.
Yes, he is a house pig.
Huh. Wow.
We saw
Has
him
a
walking
bed.
around.
He sleeps on the first floor. If I don't get down there too soon, it's almost his bedtime. He is, Lois, he is the most incredible pet that I've ever had because he learned the housebreak 2 days.
Wow.
No questions. Never have had an accident since. He doesn't smell. He's got an attitude. He's got an attitude.
Sounds like me.
Pigs are very smart.
Does he have his own bed or does he sleep on the couch?
He has his own bed.
Okay.
Does he greet people at the door?
Sometimes, and he's learned to bark from being around Bear, which he makes a barking kind of sound when he gets really worked up.
And he doesn't like being picked up either.
Only by me. He doesn't mind being picked up
it's
by
a
me.
personal thing. Okay. Well, you got quite the circus going on up there, CC. If I
Yes,
do
we
say.
do. It's the big top.
Okay, so listen. Well, we're talking about CC. So tonight, we wanted to not put him on the spot, but to show off.
Put him on the spot.
Show off his technical knowledge, because we always say to people, I know a few people, Al, you're one of them, and Coco is, they know everything about everything. You know what I mean? Don't you, you know?
Know-it-alls, they call them.
No. Wow, one line.
Smart ass.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, you always know one's going to take a shot like that.
Yikes.
After, like, we've had one of the big get-togethers at the house.
There you
He
go.
knows it's a couple months before the next one, so he's full. You know,
you
he came
fed
by,
him.
He got his fill. He picked up his
Got my
swag.
fill.
He
That's right.
left. You know, had his eat, had
Picked
his
up his
drink,
swag.
and now I can take a cheap shot at
Yeah.
Coco. No
I
problem.
can go back and call you Cocopedia.
They got
Cocopedia.
Cocopedia. All right. Sounds like something you need to take medication for. But look, we have what we're doing tonight is we're always saying that, Coco knows it all, and he does in a way. So we're going to throw
He
10
knows
questions.
a lot about everything.
Right, 10 questions at him.
It's amazing.
He has to answer them in 1 minute. Okay, 10 questions, 10 minutes, and Lois is going to be the official timekeeper, and she's assured me that we're on Greenwich Mean Time on an atomic clock, so we'll know every time a minute's up. Are you ready there, Lois?
I am ready. I've got my ticker ready to go.
Okay. Did I introduce everyone when we came back?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Close enough.
Okay, here we go. Close enough. All right. Yeah, I got 5 out of 7.
Yeah, for those that didn't get the invite,
We'll get it next time.
renegotiate the contract.
Here we go. All right. So, Coco, these are 10 questions. I'll tell you, I've always wanted to know, the answer to about 8 of them, and then maybe 2 of them, who knows where they came from. Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, Lois, please start the clock. Ready?
I will start the clock officially after the question has been read.
After the question, Alex? Okay, here we go. After
Thank
the
you,
question.
Only fair.
Is
Yeah.
it really?
Thank you, Lois. I'm glad my lawyer's talking.
Okay, here we go.
Lois. Thank you.
All right, number 10.
I believe was what the deal was, right?
Right.
60 seconds.
It's only fair.
Yeah. Well, this deal was written on a matchbook. It was really hard to find. To
Actually, an
begin with,
index
so.
card, but that's okay. All right,
The
here we go.
stopwatch is an egg timer.
There you
I
go.
told them to use the back of one of these really cool coasters.
Once
Because you can
again.
write like a full contract on the back of one of Mack's coasters. Hey,
Thanks.
the people out there that are listening, who would love to have a coaster signed by everybody on the show?
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd
Yeah.
be worth
Wouldn't that be cool?
$1 Yep.
Who's going to mail those around? Okay, here we go.
I guess I will.
Here we go. Ready? Here we go. Number 10. This is Coco's Corner. Ready? Okay, number 10. Now, these aren't funny questions. I really want to know these things. Ready? Number 10. Do helicopters have autopilots?
Yes, they do.
They do.
Next question.
No, really? Yeah? You can.
Yes, really, they do. Some of the helicopters I flew, the helicopter could fly all the way down to a 50-foot hover with no pilot in.
Is that right? Yeah, but
There
flying
are
a helicopter
helicopters
is
now,
so.
like airplanes that can fly an instrument approach all the way down a runway and enter into a hover and be just a few feet above the runway.
Wow, I had no idea, because flying a helicopter seems like labor intensive. And
Can I look to Lois? Lois, she's eating up my time here.
okay, all right, here we go. All right,
Still have 34 seconds left.
you want to sing a song?
Mrs. Coco says I'm one of the
Want to do a
fastest. I
dance?
don't know if I think it's a good
See
thing.
now. Into the vacuum comes bad humor. Okay, all right. Why don't we just move on? Can you reset there, Lois, to 1 minute?
Reset my timer. We had 19 seconds left.
Oh, okay. All right. This is why you have pre-production meetings. All right, ready? Here we go. Number 9. Coco, do bullets work in outer space?
Yes, they do.
They do. Now, why? But there's no
What? I
gravity.
don't believe
There's,
that.
how can they? There's no
You
gravity.
still have the ability to move mass. A bullet is no different than a rocket. If it's accelerated, it's going to fly into space. It may be affected by gravitational fields. I would like to point to Isaac Asimov, David Starr series of novels. That was one of the most incredible weapons that David Starr in his novel series used as an offensive weapon on his rocket ship. It was a very small, accelerated bullet-type device that shot out of his rocket to disable other people's rockets that he was chasing.
Wow.
Don't
Who
fight
knew?
Asimov. He's like Maloney. You
Oh,
just
right.
don't go there.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, I saw him talk once. He's great. Okay, here we go. Number 8.
Okay, wait Wait a second. He did it again. There were 19 seconds left. That's uncanny.
I guess I got to say it again. Mrs. Coco says I'm the fastest.
There you go.
I think it's a good thing.
There you go.
Yeah, Lois doesn't understand that. But okay, you ready? Ready? Reset there?
It's all set.
Okay, here we go. All right, number 8. Why is the British Army called the British Army and not the Royal Army? There's the Royal Navy, the Royal Air Force. Why not the Royal Army?
Because, and I would like to invoke the great memory of Ross Sharp, a frequent guest and one of our beloved brothers from across the pond.
Puddle.
It was the First Army, and that's why it's not referred to as the Royal Army. Until that point, the term Army was not used until the British coined it. It was legions, it was other fighting forces. The Brits coined the term Army, and it was not Royal Army. Not a Royal Army, Royal Navy, Royal Air Force.
Okay. I don't understand that, but sounds good to me. Okay, here we go. Number 7.
Wait, can I get a time check? Time check,
Time
please?
check.
Can I get a time check? Because I get a bonus if I'm well under.
25 seconds were
bar coaster.
remaining.
Mrs. Coco is crying right now. She's so excited.
He'll get a bar coaster signed by all of us. That's the prize. All right, look. Okay, number 7. What's the worst thing you can eat before a long flight?
Anything that's going to cause gastral kind of indigestion, such as something that's going to need to move through your system quickly.
Oh.
So the brands, you know, the kind of things that Juan likes to chase his meal with, that's one you definitely want to stay away.
Someone calling you right
those
now.
Grand Slams are good for that.
I was going to say, you want to throw in 2 Grand Slams and then take a long flight.
They
in a
really
jet
move
plane.
you, yeah.
Okay, there you go. Ooh, very good, Al. Okay, here we go. Number 6. Is it possible to fly a plane drunk?
Yes.
Okay, super. That sounds like the word, the voice of
not
experience.
very well,
I'll give you evidence on that. Well, one brings a good point. With the autopilot, you can do that. It's very famously known that Pappy Bollington during World War II got a little bit tanked up, was very upset. The Japanese kept attacking his strip. He got in the plane, flew over the Japanese base, strafed it a number of times, and then circled over the field of the Japanese air base and challenged them to come up and fight him. And no one came up, and he flew back to Espiritu Santos and landed his F-4U Corsair.
And he was drunk?
And he was under the influence. We won't go to the bar where drunk is, because drunk is not an actual measure.
True, that's true. Okay. Wow, that's good news. You can fly a plane.
Time check, please. Time check, please.
Hey, this is no fun. My timer was supposed to actually ding and make cut you off at some point. This is
all right. I'll talk slowly on the next one, Lois.
So next time, just do the ding.
Just do the
like,
ding.
Once it's a minute, just
There you
be
go.
like, ding.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I won't stick to the 60 seconds.
There's the
That's way.
T-shirt. Do the ding.
Lois, I will talk really slowly.
Here we go.
on the next one.
Number 5. Number 5. Okay. Why didn't the U.S. just use nukes in Vietnam? Why didn't they just use nuclear weapons?
That is a very interesting question that you've asked me.
This will go over.
There was much discussion about using nukes. It came up during the Johnson administration as well as the Nixon administration.
Now he sounds drunk. I hope he's not flying.
During a changeover between the two administrations, it was decided that using nuclear weapons would be too controversial. Although it was studied in depth a number of times to see if it would stop the North Vietnamese attack, and it was concluded that it would, but it was not viable.
Can I go ding now? Can I do it? Is that it?
Yes, that's it. I'm just waiting for you to ask me the next
Crickets.
question, sir.
There you go. Your time's up.
There you go, crickets.
Yeah, that was really a great way to do it. Thanks. I really enjoyed it. That was a lot of
Okay,
fun.
here we go. Number 4. Okay, in a pinch, could a helicopter pilot fly an airliner?
I think so, yes. If he had proper, or she had proper coaching to help explain some of the differences that were there. One big, huge difference between flying an airplane and helicopters do not stall where airplanes will stall. Pilots are used to bringing aircraft to a hover while you're still in the air and then vertically descending. Where an airplane, if you do that, you're going to vertically descend, but it's not going to be under control.
It's not going to be as much fun. Okay. Okay, number 3. Why are there no more military seaplanes?
Another absolutely prescient question by Mack Maloney of Mack Maloney Military X-File.
Yes.
Of recent disclosure, Air Force Special Operations Command is getting ready to put a C-130 on floats.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. Wow.
Yes. There are, and this is all part of the pivot to the Pacific. We have so many vast areas with water. We're using a transport type airplane that was on floats, has great capability. The problem is that it's very difficult to land on water. Open ocean landings are extremely dangerous because of sea state, and the planes do not last very long. They end up really beating themselves up pretty heavily when they hit the water for the landing, and takeoffs can be very problematic.
Right.
So for the most part, the development of helicopters allowed for the ability to hover over water, and the mission kind of went away. But for years, there's been experimentation with small amphibious and seaplane type aircraft, and now it looks like we're going to have a C-130 get on floats.
At one point, they were going to have the entire the Navy's nuclear force was going to be flying boats. They were going to they could land anywhere and so on. But as you say, it's tough on the planes because you're taking off and landing all the time.
The real problem is on jet engines. Even with the C-130 with propellers, those are jet engines. And salt water is so corrosive. What it does to airplanes, it's very intensive for maintenance. The Sea Dart, a great jet that was a seaplane. In fact, I believe it's in one of your books, Mac, if I remember correctly. The Sea Dart makes an appearance.
Who knows? Yep. Okay. It was a Delta Wing fighter that they put C's on. It worked, but it was just tough to land and to maintain it as something that's on the water all the time. Lois, did we hear the ding? Was that my imagination?
Oh, no, you heard it a long time ago, but it was such an engaging conversation I didn't want to interrupt.
Okay. All right. There it is from Lois. Okay.
I'm not sure you're hearing any of this, but...
Number 2. Why did the Russians, for years and years and years, and they're probably still trying to do it, try to build a flying tank? And I'm not talking about an airplane that has a big gun. I mean a tank that literally
has
flies.
Wings.
Right.
I think the Soviet and back to Russia to Soviet, back to Russia, thought is that the tank is such a central piece of their doctrine on how they plan to dominate different terrain areas, that they have never given up on the theory that you can put wings on a tank, move it very quickly for tank speeds, different parts of the battle theater, and have it deploy. And they've never gotten over it.
Flying tank. Okay, the one thing, too, is that tanks weigh tons and tons. And in fact, they've tried to put as much weight on them in armor as possible. Airplanes try to take off as much weight as possible. So it's going to be hard to fly something that's 40 tons.
Bit of a mixed marriage there.
Mac and Coco, I think it was a more fundamental problem of public relations and marketing, because you know how you like to make a mnemonic out of everything?
Go ahead.
That's time.
A winged tank would be called a wing, would it not?
Hang on. Wow. Why won't just
ting.
get dinged?
It could be a ting.
Okay, go ahead.
Why do you have to go that way? Why do you have to go to the wank to get a ting?
All right. What's the meme? Go ahead. Lois.
Or a tang. Could it be a tang? How about a tang?
Okay. All right. Are we gonna fix this in pre-production, post-production? All right. We ready? We good for the last one? Okay. The last one. Last question. Ask Coco. Coco's corner. Who will become obsolete first? Fighter pilots or bomber pilots? So what's going to be obsolete first? Fighter planes or bombers?
I think it's most likely going to be fighter pilots.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Really?
And I will add one other part.
Go ahead.
One other part to this. I think you're always going to have helicopter pilots, because when the thing crashes, especially the unmanned aircraft crash,
yes,
they'll send helicopter crew in to go pick it up because it's too valuable to leave behind to the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always going to be a need for helicopter pilots to do the cleanup work. As I used to tell my lads and lasses back in the day when I was wearing the uniform.
Go ahead.
I think what you're going to see change dramatically is that the more fighter type aircraft will be unmanned or optionally manned more and more.
Yes.
Probably in another decade. I don't think it's going to happen any sooner than that. But the bomber-style aircraft, I predict, will also be carrying a number of offensive weapons, as well as it's going to take over other areas, like transport.
Go ahead. I saw the look on Lois's face. She was afraid to ding, correct?
No, she gave me the stop, and I think if you total up all the times where I saved seconds, I'm still well under my total allotted time.
That's true.
And I asked you in pre-production, and you would not answer me that if I saved seconds, I could go long in other questions, and you were just blatant about not answering that.
Wow.
And you didn't answer my lawyers either. So
wow.
That's where it stands.
Not exactly gracious in victory, is he?
Should decide.
Okay.
The audience decides my fate.
Okay.
I think they wanted to hear what you were saying.
You might want to, rethink that. Well, listen. Thank you, Coco. See, it proves our point. Let's give him a real round of applause.
Very well done.
None of that
I learned a lot of that.
fixing it up.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a genius. Well, thank you for educating us and entertaining us. And why don't we do this? Why don't we take a commercial break now? And we'll be right back after this. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Military Exile Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. We'll be right back.
We've all heard of Area 51, the U.S. government's top secret base in the Nevada desert. But have you ever heard of Area 52 or 53 or 54? 54? How about Tonopah Test Range or the Navy's secret base inside the Bermuda Triangle? Find out about them and more in Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Did Richard Nixon show Jackie Gleason a crashed alien spaceship near the swamps of Florida? Is it true that more UFOs are seen over a small Scottish village than anywhere else in the world? And is there a secret place in Russia that some people think is heaven on earth? In Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, you'll visit more than a dozen top secret places around the globe. The haunted forests of New Jersey, a valley in Colorado where shadows come alive and humans can fly without wings. And where's the only secret base in America that's not been visited by UFOs? You've heard Mack talk all about these places on his radio show. Now you can read all about them yourself. That's Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Now on sale at Amazon.
Hey fans, Lois Lane here, and I think it's time for you to get some free swag from Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show. We have badges, pins, bar coasters, and some very cool 3D show logos that we just can't wait to give away. Just go to MackMaloney.com and hit the contact button. Send us an email with your mailing address, and we'll ship the free swag out to you quicker than Switch can eat breakfast. That's MackMaloney.com and hit the contact button to get your free swag today. Requests for tasteful news of Wanwan will be handled on a case-by-case basis.
Welcome back, everyone, to Mack Maloney's Military Exile Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. And this is Mack Maloney. Wow, what a show we have for you tonight. Let me quickly introduce the gang who is here. The very famous One is here, girls.
Hello, Mac. Hello, girls.
Squeegee
Welcome
alert.
to the show.
Okay. Coco is here. Middle-aged ladies, Gilson, Gigi Gils. He's here. Coco.
Thank you, Matt. Glad to be on the way.
We haven't saluted him in a long time. We have to do that. Okay. Also, our national correspondent, Switchblade Steve Ward, is here.
Great to be here tonight.
An American Grand Slam into the day, right? 3 eggs.
Yes.
Hash browns, toast.
Actually, it's an all-American slam.
All-American, okay. Sausages, bacon, coffee, and water, correct?
Right.
Okay, we didn't ask you. How much did that cost? That probably cost about $55, right? How much?
I don't know. I don't remember. It's around 10, I guess.
10. So what's your tip?
About 6.
6? Okay.
Wow,
That's
there you go.
acceptable. Acceptable. Okay. All right.
Good for you.
I'm hearing the pig. Do you hear the pig?
I'm hearing
something.
Okay.
I'm hearing it.
All
I hear the pig, too.
All right, let's move on. Okay.
There is no Zeppelin within range of where I am sitting. I don't want to hear this anymore.
Willie Clubb is with us, our security chief. Willie, how you doing? WC.
Good, Mac. Great to be here.
Okay.
Hi, folks.
And just curious, do you hear the pig or not? Is it just us?
You know, I'm hearing things, but I don't know if it's a pig.
Okay.
I'm hearing humming, I
That
think.
happens all. Oh, don't say that. Okay. So also, Al Ronaldo, UFO Mechanic, is with us.
Good evening, everyone.
And
Well,
saving the beauty among the beasts for last is our good friend Raven up there in upstate New York. Raven, how are you doing tonight?
Hello, my friends. I'm so good. Thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm. And
good to see you, Raven.
One bun tonight,
Good to see
folks.
you.
If you keep
One
count,
bun.
one bun to rule them all. All right.
Yes. One bun to bind them.
Right. And
And
8
in the
days a
dark-
week
well, whatever.
is your drink, right? 8 days a week?
8 days a week. Actually, I have the box because I only had a couple of them left. That's
Wow.
what it looks like.
Okay. How are the Beatles
radio
not?
show.
How do the Beatles not stop this? I mean, they've got to be cut in for it because that'd be hard to license that song. Or,
I don't know. You know,
The
I
title.
think it isn't the song 8 is spelled out like 8, but this is the number 8, right? Like they're spelled differently.
well, nevertheless, I wouldn't want Apple's attorneys coming down on me. They're like Walt Disney. They just crush you. Anyway,
Maybe they're
look.
just like, you know what? This is below our pay grade.
I don't think.
No,
anything's below
that doesn't work like that.
grade.
Yep. So listen, so we have to be on our best behavior because tonight our guest is Archbishop Ron Feyl-Enright out there in L.A. Please, let's give him a heavenly round of applause.
Hi, guys.
How are you tonight, Father? How are you?
I'm doing okay, I think.
Okay. You're in L.A., right?
Yeah, well, just outside of Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
A
Okay.
place called Ontario, California.
Oh, wow. Okay. Is that a lot of Canadians move there?
You would think so, but no, not really.
Okay. I went to L.A. on business once, and someone told me there was 60,000 British people live in work in Los Angeles.
Really?
60,000. Okay, and there are British bars out there and anything. I kind of believe it with the entertainment industry and stuff, but anyway, I digress. So nothing burned down there? You didn't get burned out? No earthquakes?
Well, we just had an earthquake done more than 30 minutes ago
Oh, really? Okay.
here in LA.
Really?
Yeah, it's about a 3.5, I believe, my phone.
Ah, that's not.
That just notified me of that.
You pay extra on a show night to get that kind of effect where you come on.
Maybe that's what we were hearing. Okay, the ground shaking. Okay, look.
It always happens when I'm around.
Wow. So I've never been. I've felt like minor earthquakes up here in New England. You really don't get them very much, but to be in a major earthquake, I hear is just like a very frightening thing because there's like really nowhere you can go. There's nowhere to hide. You know. Is that true?
Yeah, they say the best place to be is in your house, probably somewhere near maybe a door frame or arch or something like that. Some people love the bathtub for some reason.
Oh.
I'm
the
kind of
tubs
a
again.
bathtub person myself, so that would probably be the place
Wow.
you'd find me.
Yep. Isn't it fun? We were just talking about who's a bathtub person and who isn't. We were talking about off air. So we should take a
Raven's
vote.
in real trouble if earthquake hits in upstate New York.
I am in trouble
She got rid of the bathtub.
I pulled my
finished
bathtub
it.
out.
You have to get in the shower
I'll have to get in my shower and just hold onto the curtain.
and pretend it's a tub. Okay. All right. Yeah. Not a lot of tub fans. Not a lot of bath fans. I'm
a tub fan. I got a big clawfoot cast iron things.
Why does that not surprise me? So you take a bath every day, you?
No, once in a while.
Really?
It's
yeah.
relaxing.
Okay, relaxing. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You listen to music? Do you have
It
rose
is.
petals in the water with you? Rose petals?
Rubber duckies.
I had to ask. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Father, listen, we did a show. There's a few things we want to ask you about because you're an expert on these things. We did a show a few months ago on Marian apparitions, all right? And it's something that's always kind of fascinated me. I've read a lot about Fatima, just in doing various research and stuff like that. And there are these famous incidents where, I mean, if you don't know what we're talking about, basically what it is that a figure, something appears to people. Some people might call it a ghost or it's a vision, and the vision usually is of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Mary, the Mother of Christ. Now, just for an example, now it's because we always say this, if you take the religion out of it, it's really quite a paranormal event, okay? But the fact that this particular vision shows up as the Mother of Christ seems to give credibility to the Catholic religion. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, that's the way I look at it. But we did this show, and we talked about Lourdes, we talked about Fatima, we talked about a bunch of places. There's a place in Yugoslavia also where this happens. But Club and Raven did this report where it happened in 1980 in Egypt, and there were like millions of people saw this vision, and they have video of it, they have film of it, and I watched it, and it's very weird. And it's 1980. It's not projected, it's not special effects. It just doesn't act like that. But something is appearing there. What is it? I'm going to throw it right to you. What is it, Archbishop? Tell us.
It really depends on your point of view and how deep your belief system is. But I believe that if you're anticipating something to happen, let's say some type of image of a certain person, or maybe any type of thing in that particular regards, it can actually happen if the settings and everything is in the right place at the right time. If you have a mass of people, let's say a couple of thousand people, and if you just put it out there, just one thought, and everyone concentrated on that one thought, then something amazing will happen. Parts of that group will start seeing exactly what that thought is, that image is. And when you focus in on something, it could actually appear like an apparition. Mm-hmm. But I've seen apparitions on the Queen Mary in Long Beach.
Really?
And not necessarily the Blessed Mother, but there were quite a few images that may even pass as somebody in that era, if you could believe that.
Mm-hmm. Now,
it just depends on where your mind frame and where and how perceptive you are.
Mm-hmm. So are you seeing what you want to see? Is that what you mean?
You see what's suggested. Whatever is suggested, it's like an order reflex.
Okay.
In this particular case, it depends as to where your mindset is.
Right.
If you're on some type of investigation, a paranormal investigation, you're anticipating, at least hopefully, that you'll see something that will stand out. And in that participation, things start happening within your mind. Mm-hmm. So again, it depends on where your mental state is at that particular time. Right. But as a general rule, we can see things that are projected within ourselves, and we can see it through our eyes, which is quite amazing.
What was interesting about this vision that took place in Egypt in 1980 that these guys talked about was that a lot of the audience were not Christians. There were a lot of Muslims saw this thing too. Okay, so it wasn't. It was authentic, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean.
Sure.
I would like to note, Mac, that in the Islamic faith, Mary and Saint Mary and Saint Anne, her mother, are revered or deeply respected in the Islamic faith. It's very interesting that there is quite a connection, quite a part. What I want to ask Bishop Ron was, if you're deeply religious, could you conjure up, to use a very bad term, a connection to have the visitation by Saint Mary or another saint?
It's a possibility. People that there are people even today that suffer from what's referred to as stigmata. Are you familiar with the term?
Correct.
Sure. Majority of these people have a deep faith and belief system, and as a result, it's said that they could actually physically show the signs of the manifestations of Christ in the palms and on the crown of the head, and so on. So, I mean, it really depends as to where your frame of mind is. If you are very religious, then there are, first of all, being religious doesn't mean you're going to see apparitions, but it does mean that you're open to the supernatural, because everything that occurs in the heading of religion is basically man-made, but a lot of it has to do with your belief system. And if you believe in something and you believe in something hard enough, then something will happen. In fact, it's interesting to think about it. Everyone will experience at least one paranormal event in their lifetime, and it will always be memorable. In fact, so much so that your whole perspective, your whole perception of the way life is could be even altered as a result of that event. So it's quite interesting.
So paranormal, define a paranormal event. Suppose if you had like an incredible burst of ESP, would that be called paranormal?
Paranormal would be anything that's not what you consider normal. something that is not explainable.
Yes.
And yet something that is believed that it exists. You know, and there's a lot of things, and you don't have to have a belief system to believe this, but we all are familiar with the various elements in our world that are invisible, but we do know exist.
Okay.
For example, oxygen.
Yes.
We really can't see oxygen unless under certain test conditions, perhaps you can. But there are other things too that, you know, you just know that, for example, rain, you know, when it rains,
yes,
and then, you know, you have that moisture, and then this process of evaporation occurs.
Yes.
You can't see the water disappearing, but you do know of the process. And it's up to you as to whether or not you believe in the process. If you do, well, then that will allow you to open up into other areas that may be unexplained. But there's a lot of things that we can't see, touch, or feel, but yet know exist in our world of existence.
Well, you're
Bishop,
right there.
What's your opinion of the Fatima apparition in 1917? Do you believe that those people really saw something all at one time, or at least?
I do.
You do.
I do believe it, but there's another couple of things that you have to throw in there. When there's a crowd like that, a crowd gathering together with one thought in mind, in the anticipation of something unbelievable that was going to take place. If you're under that mindset and with all those people, something happens. And I don't know if this is a chemistry type of scenario, but when people are together, our energy seems to magnify. That is, you're actually able to see the energy field increase. When there's more than 4 or 5 people, or even 100 people, and then we take it to 1,000 people, something very interesting happens. Some psychiatrists would call it mass hysteria, but those who believe on the other side of the coin, maybe just outside the box, it could actually be something that is happening, but it's out of our realm of understanding. It's just beyond our comprehension. It's like turning a TV set on and being stuck. Well, I'm giving my age away, but you're turning the channel and you're like between stations, and it's not quite coming in. You have like 2 signals coming in at once, and then, you know, it's not quite where you want to be, but yet you're able to see it because you're between there and here. The same thing is true with radio signals and so on. And once in a while, we're able to capture what's between the 2 frames. And that's what some people might refer to as deja vu, meaning that, you know, that you can't quite explain it, but yet it's so familiar that you've been there before.
Right.
And as a result, it's one of those mystery things in life.
Why do you think the last apparition was such a long time ago? Do you have any idea why we haven't had any public apparitions? And
actually, we have. Actually, we have. There. Believe it or not, there was one incredible apparition that occurred in Florida. I was living in Florida at the time.
Okay.
And this was like just outside of Port Richey. And there was an apparition that appeared on the side of a building, a glass building. The building is like, you know, was very tall, like maybe 8, 9 stories tall. That's tall in Florida, 8 or 9 stories tall. And this image of the Blessed Mary was actually on. I mean, it was a 3D effect. It was there for 1 month, and people could not explain it. There were people that were theorizing, you know, what it possibly could be, maybe a chemical in the cleaning solution that was used when they were cleaning the glass, you know. But for some reason, this was a perfect image of the Blessed Mary.
But there's been no messages or anything.
Actually, a lot of people did receive something. There have been a lot of interesting comments about this apparition. It was even talked about on a radio station way back when, and people had the sense of tranquility. They felt warm. They felt peaceful for that split second. And then, you know, there have been other events too. If we go back to like was it World War II or World War I believe. In the World War I, there was an episode where in Europe, I believe it was the Nazis or Germans and the Americans, they were both confronted with this light that just simply illuminated the entire space. And everyone on both sides, they were compelled to put their weapons down, lower their weapons, and come together and it's recorded in history somewhere. And I don't know if you're familiar with the event that took place.
Yeah, we've discussed this on a previous show. I think it was
Yes.
the British and the Germans.
British and the Germans.
Right in the trenches. Yeah, that's a very popular.
Very much so. And I think at the time, it's like, we were talking about earthquakes. If you've ever been in an earthquake, at least for the very first time, and you realize that something is happening and you can't quite explain it. It's like for a second you're in a frozen mode, for that brief moment. Okay, everything freezes around you. And this is where your thought process jumps in and it tries to figure out as to what the heck just happened. And the body can't explain it because the body's in this motionless state. Your mind and your brain are working overtime because they're trying to understand what actually took place. It's the same type of scenario. If you saw an apparition, I believe your mind would freeze out. And for that split second, you would probably try to reason with yourself and try to explain what actually you have just witnessed.
Right.
And it's a very strange feeling.
We're talking to Archbishop Ron Feyl-Enright out there on the West Coast. And it's interesting that you say that when these visions happen, it's kind of like, in a way, you see what you want to see. And, in some cases. But like in the case of Fatima, now, just real quickly, the elevator pitch to Fatima is that these 3 kids saw the Blessed Virgin Mary appear to them is in 1918 or so, and she appeared to them almost on a regular basis every month, and every time she appeared to them, the crowd grew to witness this thing, and finally, after about a year, there were 50,000 people in this field, and she appeared, but a lot of the people saw things like the sun dancing in the sky, and it had rained earlier that morning, and the sun came so close to people that it dried out their clothes and stuff, crazy stuff like this. And the interesting thing, too, is that the government of Portugal at the time was not, they were very anti-Catholic, they were very anti-religion. And the newspapers that are there, there's 8 newspapermen there, and 5 of them were from government-controlled newspapers, so they're not going to write anything, positive about religion, but they all did on this because they witnessed it themselves. So there's a real Catholic backstory to that one, you know what I mean? There's a real Catholic backstory to that. And so my question is that if visions come to visit us for whatever reason, it seems like the Catholics are one up on everyone else because some of these spirits, just fall right into line for the people who are on, that most people know about the Catholic Church, Jesus Christ, His mother, the Father, and so on and so forth. If they're showing up, doesn't that give a lot of credibility to, and I hate to say this, frankly, to the Catholic Church?
Well, you would think so. The Catholics have always documented everything that was spiritual. And in order to be, for anything or any event or any person to be sainted, for example, there has to be 3 miracles. Mm-hmm. And Sister Lucy had experienced all 3 of these miracles. And as a result, she was sainted way back when, after her passing. I can tell you another interesting fact, that all the people that you were mentioning that came to that central point, that one particular area, they all started seeing different things. Mm-hmm. Their interpretation of what their brain was allowing them to understand what was taking place. Some saw the sun dancing. Others saw a complete blackout of the sun. Other people who were there for a special reason for healing were actually healed. Mm-hmm. There were people that were physically crippled and they were able to walk. There were people that were blind and they were able to see. And these are all supernatural things that occur and take place. Part of religion, organized religion anyway, the various denominations, they have their own take as to how certain things should be and practiced and so on. Mm-hmm. And depending as to what your level of belief is, these things have been already organized for you in a spiritual fashion, and you're able to understand and see certain things that other people would be totally oblivious to. I can tell you that in my lifetime, I have been encountered with real, honest to God demons that you could see. I've also had encounter with angels that you could see and touch. And then in just a split second, they would totally dissipate with no trace whatsoever. But they were there for a particular reason. And angels, in most cases, in all cases, actually, they're there as messengers, and they will relay a message to you, or they will be there for comfort, or some people refer to guardian angels, which are very real and very true. And we're surrounded with all types of spiritual entities around us, not only angels and demons, but we're also surrounded by the human factor, the souls and spirits that may be around us, and that may be, going through some issues right now, even the afterlife. Of course, after saying that, I'm going to get a lot of feedback, but that's okay. And sometimes, when I'm on a program such as yours, I kind of forget that there might be like thousands of people listening in.
So do we. Thank you, Father.
That all kinds of criticism will come in, but all I can tell you is what I've experienced firsthand, and all these things are real.
How about someone who has never experienced anything like that? And I'm talking about myself. Never had any kind of a paranormal experience. Never had any kind of a feeling that I was, seeing something that was not of this earth or whatever. Never saw a UFO, never saw a ghost. Nothing has ever happened to me. I've had ESP, spikes of ESP and deja vu and stuff, but nothing that is just, let me ask, have you ever seen a ghost there, Albernaldo? He has to think about it.
I haven't seen one. I've encountered experiences with houses that are doing crazy things that would you say they shouldn't be happening.
You used to pick up dead bodies for a while.
Well, yeah, I did that for a while too, but, but that was before that.
Let me go around the horn here. Raven, have you ever seen anything that you would, well, who am I asking? You have a ghost in your house, right?
I literally emailed you about this a week ago that something touched me.
Right. And it wasn't Juan.
And we were able to figure out where Juan was.
So I was going to say he was accounted for. Okay.
Wow. I was
doing not only remote viewing, I was doing remote touching.
Remote touching?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the name of it.
That's a new science I'm figuring out.
That's simple.
That's the new album by Switchy and the Baby Sausages. Hey, Keith, have you ever seen it? BK, have you ever seen a Willie Club? Have you ever seen a ghost? Have you ever seen anything out of the ordinary?
No, not when I'm ordinary. If I've had a few beers or something, I've seen them. But other than that, no.
Wow.
No.
Well, we had that waitress one time. She took our order and disappeared. She must have been a ghost. Remember her? Down the grog. Hey, Juan.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes,
because of what you just said.
Okay.
When a person is either has taken some drugs or maybe they're some alcohol or whatever, and that their perception seems to change just a bit, and there's a reason for that. Not only because of the chemicals in your brain seem to change, but also even your behavior in terms of how you relate.
Yes.
And as for you, Mac, you say you've never seen anything. We have this thing in ourselves, which is some type of internal apparatus that allows us to adapt and accept. And as we get older, we learn to adapt more because more information and experiences are coming in. So we learn to adapt to these things.
Okay.
And as a result, I'm sure in your past, if we were to do a hypnotic type of session on you, I'm sure we can go into your subconscious. I'm sure we can come up with some interesting paranormal events that occurred in your life. But as you get older, you tend to forget these things.
Yes.
And as a result, you forget all about these things. But we all have gone through some kind of supernatural event. If even if it's very minor, I'm sure it has occurred. A lot of people that have claimed to be abducted by UFOs.
Yes.
A lot of them have memory loss, but if under hypnosis, they could actually be detailed in regards to what had occurred. I wouldn't mind having you. By the way, I do hypnotherapy. By the way, so
I pay for it.
You'd be an excellent
Bishop
subject.
Ron, I'm willing to chip in right there, Bishop Ron.
You don't want me up.
I think we could. We'd love to have Mac go under. That would be.
Nope.
That would be super.
Not in a million years. There.
Do you do remote hypnotherapy?
It's very possible. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Hey, Juan, you've seen a ghost. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You've seen a ghost, Juan. I'm just taking score here, right? You've seen a paranormal. You've had paranormal events in your life.
Yeah, and it's not something like a mind over matter thing. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't looking for it. I wasn't even thinking about it. And I was at work at my computer job in Massachusetts, and I saw this woman walking down the street. And she looked like she was dressed in like a 1890s, turn of the century garb with a parasol, long dress, and just walking down the street, a hot summer day. And I thought it was maybe a street actor or something, and it wasn't the kind of town where there'd be street actors. But who's dressed up in that outfit?
Yes,
it looked like something out of the show Deadwood or something,
Yes,
except she was fancy. Maybe she was a prostitute or something.
Wow,
but did she really fancy?
How we go down that way?
Walking down the street.
Boy, we took a hard left there, didn't we?
And some people thought. I told some people about it, and they said, "Oh yeah, you're not the only one that's seen that person."
Wow, huh?
I said, "Well, maybe it is, some real person dressed up."
Well, I think it's a miracle, and I'm going to put it to St. Michael that you didn't say Downington Abbey. Someone from the set of Downington Abbey. Thank God for
Downton
that.
Abbey.
Right.
Downtown Abbey.
That's the
What about
the
all those, Archbishop? What about all those people that see Our Lady of Guadalupe on a regular basis? I mean, they're not just conjuring it up or, putting minds together and saying, okay, guys, let's see if we can conjure up Our Lady of Guadalupe today. Isn't she a regular visitor to Guadalupe?
It depends who is doing the witnessing. See, again, it all boils down to what you're able to accept as reality, at least for that moment. If you're open to that, then yes, there's a possibility. People have seen Elvis all over the place. Especially in Las Vegas.
He's in Vegas.
People swear they've seen they swear to see Elvis. I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that you will see what you want to see if you have a deep commitment in experiencing that particular event. It will happen. Okay, and it's something about this incredible thing that we have called the brain. Yeah, we could muster up so many things and experience so much more than what we've already experienced.
So you're saying we can make certain visions happen by maybe thinking about it a lot, really processing it, just meditation perhaps. I mean, our mind is an amazing instrument of all kinds of things. So,
how does that apply to demons in exorcisms? Is it the same thing that we're seeing people that, go through the exorcism process are really seeing something, or?
Well, what we, as you already know, what I've done it's been 41 years now. I've been doing this. I've trained hundreds of priests and bishops, and it's not for looking for demons, but rather looking for the symptoms of someone, maybe whether they're possessed or have some form of oppression. As a psychologist, I try to do everything in a very analytical fashion. I created a questionnaire that focuses on three things: the physical, the spiritual, and of course the surrounding manifestations that they've claimed taken place. Before an exorcism is even performed, the subject has to go through a series of steps where the assessor will actually look at their psychological profile, their health profile, and come to some kind of conclusion. Again, with the help of a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist will look at the psych evaluations, and the medical doctor would also look at the physical. And as for the spiritual person that's involved, which would be either yours truly or a bishop somewhere down the line, they'd use what's referred to as a discernment. And so we tie all these things together. And if the person is truly possessed, then you really need to take at least 3 big steps backwards and start looking at the entire picture, because what you're dealing with something that is truly supernatural, something that's invisible, and something that could hurt you. And of course, the person who is the victim.
Right.
So it's more than just a belief system. It goes beyond the belief system. The priest has to have more than just understanding what's taking place. He has to have a deep empathy that of the person.
Right.
My granddaughter just walked in here.
Oh, there we go.
Talk about angels visiting us.
Here she goes.
Say hi.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Hi.
Her name is Laura Ashley. And
Oh, so cute.
Wow.
say bye, honey.
Okay.
Anyway,
Interesting.
okay, what was I saying now?
So why don't we do this? Though I was going to say this. Why don't we take a quick break now? We're talking to Archbishop Ron Feyl-Enright here about a whole different range of things. Let's take a quick break now, and we'll be right back after this. You're listening to Mack Maloney's Military Exile Show here on the Distant Thunder Radio Network. Please stay tuned.
Hey fans, Lois Lane here, and I think it's time for you to get some free swag from Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show. We have badges, pins, bar coasters, and some very cool 3D show logos that we just can't wait to give away. Just go to MackMaloney.com and hit the contact button. Send us an email with your mailing address, and we'll ship the free swag out to you quicker than Switch can eat breakfast. That's MackMaloney.com and hit the contact button to get your free swag today. Requests for tasteful news of Wanwan will be handled on a case-by-case basis.
We've all heard of Area 51, the U.S. government's top secret base in the Nevada desert. But have you ever heard of Area 52 or 53 or 54? 54? How about Tonopah Test Range or the Navy's secret base inside the Bermuda Triangle? Find out about them and more in Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Did Richard Nixon show Jackie Gleason a crashed alien spaceship near the swamps of Florida? Is it true that more UFOs are seen over a small Scottish village than anywhere else in the world? And is there a secret place in Russia that some people think is heaven on earth? In Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, you'll visit more than a dozen top secret places around the globe. The haunted forests of New Jersey, a valley in Colorado where shadows come alive and humans can fly without wings. And where's the only secret base in America that's not been visited by UFOs? You've heard Mac talk all about these places on his radio show. Now you can read all about them yourself. That's Mack Maloney's Beyond Area 51, Mysteries of the World's Most Forbidden Places. Now on sale at Amazon.
Let me introduce who's here. Juan is here. Wani.
Yes, sir. Mac, how you doing?
Here. Okay, also.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and all ships at sea.
Coco is here, middle-aged ladies. Coco is with us.
On the wing there, Mac, as always.
Check one king in the pig. Also, national correspondent Switchblade Steve Ward is here.
I'm not on the wing.
Not on the wing. Okay.
He might be eating chicken wings, but he's not on the wing.
Right. You know. And no comments about his hair really tonight. I think that we should be proud of ourselves that we've, stopped beating that.
He looks good.
I believe that club really rolled in quite earlier on the hair.
Did he? Okay.
Pretty much took it off.
Yeah, and the night isn't over yet.
Our security chief, Willie Clubb, is here. Willie, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's a religious experience
It
tonight.
is.
I'm enjoying it.
In more ways than one. Our good friend, our favorite good witch, Raven, is with us up in upstate New York. Raven.
Hello, my friends. Thank you for having me.
Oh, Raven.
And also,
It's our pleasure.
It is our pleasure. Also, our special guest with us is Archbishop Ron Feyl-Enright out there in the West Coast. Thanks for joining us and staying with us, Father. Okay. Wow, a man of few words. He must be. Is your microphone working there, Father? Is your microphone working?
Okay,
all right.
So I have a built-in system, and I just talk to the screen, and I just wait till something comes out.
Mm-hmm. He was speechless then.
Mac, he's got it all figured out.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's an ecumenical recipe for success right there.
Well, I just want to say a couple of things before we start the segment. We should say that we're going to start giving away swag for the Mack Maloney's Military X-Files show. We got pins. We've got badges. We've got these cool 3D decals, very kind of cool, and just a whole bunch of things. So for you to get your free Mack Maloney Military X-Files show swag, just...
What? Drop us a line?
Go to MackMaloney.com and hit the contact.
Had a sneeze. Hang on. Hang on.
Well, it was pretty violent.
We have bar coasters, also pins, different kinds of pins, and these decals that are kind of like a 3D kind of detail of the logo of the show. So just go to MackMaloney.com, hit the contact button, send us an email with your mailing address, and we'll mail it out to you faster than Switch can eat his breakfast. Isn't that what Lois said earlier today?
Yes.
I just need to throw in there that a little bit earlier back you said wingman.com. It's MackMaloney.com.
MackMaloney.
If you go to wingman.com, we're not responsible for the security protocol that you may activate.
That's a porn site.
But there is a really cool page that comes up when you go to wingman.com that probably seizes all your files.
MackMaloney.com. Go to MackMaloney.com.
Or you can slide into our DMs. We can also do it there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, now she's getting technical.
What is a DM? What is a DM?
Direct messages on Instagram. At Mack Maloney's Military X-Files.
Oh, look us up. Do it that way, too. Or you can call us up. You can send JJ a love letter. Just get in touch with us, okay?
Yep.
So anyway, I wanted to say...
She does.
And so why don't we do this? Father, thanks for sticking with us. I don't know how long you can do it. This is kind of like a penance, right, for you?
That's exactly right.
Okay, there you go. Wow. Okay, some tough love from the Father. All right, so we do this once a week where Raven, in her powers as a good witch, knows a lot about the various characters that come on the show. And all she has to know is your birthday, and she can tell you things about yourself that you already know and things about yourself that you don't know. Okay? All right, I'm looking at Al because he's the victim tonight.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. Al's birthday is October 20th, so we'll put in some spooky music here. Raven, tell Al things that he knows about himself and that he doesn't know about himself, and hopefully entertain us.
Oh, I hope you're entertained by this. So we have October 20th. This is the day of Vogue. He is a Libra. He's an air sign, and he is ruled by the number 2 and the moon. Personal appearance means a lot to Al. This is an expression of his individuality.
Yes.
You are very conscious of what is in and what is out at any given time and have great influence on defining social trends. However, October 20th people, like our friend Owl. Oh my goodness.
That's his
gracious,
nickname.
cut that out.
He's the Owl.
Like our friend Owl.
Who are you talking about?
Oh my God.
Pretty quick.
Al, did you say who?
Who? Yes. Who are you talking about?
Talking about?
Let's go.
The inner
This is
owl
such a bad
came
night
out.
for me. I messed up so many times. Okay,
Let's go.
like Al,
Yes.
you kind of have that struggle where you want to be accepted, but you also want to be influential. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
Wow. That's a grand slam right there. Okay. Yeah.
You can be viewed as almost living a double life because your career is your moneymaker, but your hobby is where all of your creative energy, that's where all of that goes to.
Well, he is newly into agriculture, I can tell you that, and it's going quite well.
So that's where your creativity is going to go then.
Okay.
And people on this day, because of that, they can appear cold in their professional life just because their heart is naturally pulling them elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You are hard-headed. Once you have your mind made up about something, it's going to be hard to stop anyone from you following through. October 20th people tend to be impressionable and imaginative, and they can be easily hurt by criticism. They're powerfully attracted to wealth and sensuous pleasures.
Wow. Yeah.
Set up.
Let's explore that one a little bit more.
All right. Now, the other part of
Still
this.
waters run deep.
Go ahead.
We're talking about Al, the UFO mechanic.
Go ahead.
All right. Now,
It's true.
add into that I'm a left-handed Italian.
Okay.
Ooh, lefty.
A lefty, yes.
I'm a lefty.
Italian.
A left-handed
All
Italian.
right.
Wow.
So I grew up in my parents doing the good thing in theory.
Yes.
When I was a kid, they moved us out of the East Boston
High crime district.
high crime. The only wildlife I saw as a child were rats between the 3-decker buildings in East Boston.
It's not like that now, folks.
Okay, so then they moved us out
Yes.
to the boonies because my parents wanted to do the right thing for their kids.
Yes.
So they moved us to this town of Dracut.
Yes.
And Dracut, Massachusetts.
A lovely town.
It was a French farming town.
Okay.
And it was a great place. I mean, we lived right up the street from this wonderful lake.
Okay.
And everything. And I was the token Italian in this very French farming town.
Wow.
So whenever, when
I'm sure they went easy on you.
Yeah. So every Italian joke in the world came my way.
Uh-huh.
But also, as I get into, out of elementary school into high school, anytime somebody needed anything unsavory done, they came to the one Italian in town because
course.
they figured, what the hell, you must be right there.
You can do it.
And my parents were very, very, very devout Catholics.
Yes.
And my dad was beaten by nuns because he was also left-handed.
Who wasn't? Go ahead.
And
well, let me ask you this. So you're left-handed Italian. What would you need to be right-handed to get the gun out quicker? What's the left hand have to do with it?
The left hand is the devil's hand.
The sign of the devil.
Oh, wow.
When my father went to school,
yes,
he went to a Catholic school.
I've seen all that.
And they would,
they would beat the kid on the hand. So
as soon as he picked
up
a pencil, they whacked the hell out of him.
Right.
And so when I was born, I'm the middle of three boys.
Yes.
And I was the only one that showed that at a very young age I was going to be a lefty. And my father made the decree at that point that no one will bother him. No one will give him a hard time.
Don't bother that lefty.
Yeah, let him go.
Okay.
And I was never persecuted as a left-handed kid.
Yes.
But except by my friends in high school
Good for
who were hysterical about it. But
well, that's the name of your biography, a left-handed Italian.
But I was also an altar boy, so I served my time.
Yes, so did I.
I was an altar boy at St. Mary's.
Thank you, Raven, for that. I'm going to say that was about 85% on. Okay, just knowing Al Ronaldo as I do, 85%. Would you say?
I'll buy a bunch of that.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, well, Raven hits again. So, Raven, you and I are going to talk about something. Now, there's a place we talked about this off air. I'll just give it a real quick, elevator pitch. Ong's Hat, a very small settlement in the middle of the Pine Barrens. The Pine Barrens is in the middle of New Jersey. It's this huge forest that no one lives in, really. And when you go through New Jersey, the place where dreams come true, you drive through the Pine Barrens. It's just trees on either side of you. If you go into Atlantic City or going down, to D.C. or whatever. All very strange things have happened in the Pine Barrens. There's the New Jersey Devil that the hockey team is named after is from the Pine Barrens. There's a lot of ghost stories and you name it, UFO stories, the works. But there's this also...
I believe some work by left and right-handed Italians in the Pine Barrens.
Okay. But there's this very strange story about this place called Ong's Hat. Ong's Hat. And I'm going to throw it over to Raven to explain why it's called that way and what the strange story is about.
Yeah. So we're kind of wondering, is this another dimension to another portal in New Jersey? Is this a rogue science cult? Is this a giant hoax made up by writer Joseph Matheny? So we're going to Jersey. Okay. This is the deserted village of Ong's Hat. It sits forgotten. Mm-hmm. Harry Ong was known about town. He was the ladies' man. He loved to go to dances. So one night he went to a dance. One of his love interests got very upset by this, saw him flirting, saw him doing his thing, and basically, in so many words, attacked him. Who knows what really happened, but she stomped on his hat. And apparently this was like a really nice hat.
This like the 1880s where they had those top hats.
So it's like, this is like basically all he had to his name. So she stomps on this hat. He's upset by it. In a fit of rage, he runs outside. He throws the hat in the air and it gets stuck in the tree. And it stays there. And it becomes the landmark to this village. And ultimately it becomes the name of the village, Ong's Hat.
And it's probably still there. Yep, go ahead.
We're going to fast forward. We are in 1978. Wally Fard, a jazz musician who had recently returned to the States after studying philosophies and spiritual practices abroad, He spends his life savings on the abandoned 200 acres in the New Jersey Pine Barrens. So he gets this group of just ragtag followers. And he would eventually form the exclusive Moorish Science Ashram.
Like a commune. Like a commune.
I don't want to call it a cult, but that was his club.
Right.
We'll call it a club.
Yes. Willie Club.
And then Fard began publishing newsletters proclaiming his beliefs. So these newsletters caught the attention of Frank and Aletha Dobbs. I'm going to refer to them as the Dobbs twins. They were raised in Texas, actually, in a UFO cult founded by their father. They were brilliant, but were looked down upon for their radical views. The twins were asked to leave Princeton University after submitting a series of equations that led to what they called cognitive chaos. The twins eventually would end up at Ong's Hat in the Pine Barrens, where they set up a makeshift laboratory in a house trailer to test their radical theories. Other fringe scientists joined them as well, and they did experiments there. Their discoveries would soon shake the scientific community to its core. I'm sorry. This is a rough night for me. I apologize.
All of us. It's okay. You're blessed. We'll say a prayer for you. Go ahead.
Please do.
You're going to need it.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
Within 3 years, the twins had built the egg, a sensory deprivation chamber. So residents of Ong's Hat would be hooked up to it, and their brain would be charted extensively using computers. They also experimented with sex, drugs, and other mind manipulators. Bless me, Father. I am so sorry.
Let's call a party.
At one point, they tested the egg on a young volunteer. Once it was activated, the test subject and the device disappeared. Approximately 7 minutes later, it rematerialized. The volunteer claimed he traveled to the dimension next door to ours, and this was what would be known as the opening of the gate, a way humans could easily travel to other dimensions. When a chemical spill leaked hazardous waste into Pine Barrens, the residents of Ong's Hat did not flee outward. Instead, they fled interdimensionally. They used the gate to transport themselves and all of their belongings to an alternate dimension where they still lived in Ong's Hat, but humankind did not exist. All that remained at the original Ong's Hat was a single structure to house the gate. Excuse me. According to some, the experiments performed at Ong's Hat led to a violent and bloody conclusion. It was speculated that the U.S. government got wind of the goings-on and that Delta Force stormed the compound, killing 7. Others, though, blamed the violence on the Russians and even the Danish military.
Those Danes.
So it's kind of left up in the air there. But even though very little remained of the twins' laboratory in the 1990s and early 2000s, people began reporting that simply reading about Ong's Hat online was beginning to have an effect on them. For example, strange dreams, unusual visual perceptions, I guess like a fogginess, I would say. This led to more theories regarding Ong's Hat piling up. And because of the similarities to other conspiracies, many wonder now, is it possible this was all an elaborate hoax? So, Mac, what do you think of all of this?
So only because I had to read about this for Beyond Area 51 by Mack Maloney on sale everywhere a few years ago. And now everything you say is true, but here's the strange thing about it. That writer that you mentioned, his last name is Matheny. What he did was he did something that is like academically clever, let's say. This started out when bulletin boards were the thing on computers, where that's how people kind of transferred information, right? Was that just message boards, right, Coco? Right, Juan?
Yeah.
Okay. So they would
bulletin boards were the way everybody got together and posted their life story. Kind of like they do on Facebook.
It's like the first early stages of social media, right?
Yep.
Okay. So what he did was he got a bunch of his friends together, and they made up this story. They made up this story about Ong's hat, about the twins, about going to different dimensions, the works. They made it up, but they made it up in such a way that he would post something, and then one of his friends would post something to add to the story, right? And then someone else would post, and they were doing this as a joke, but what happened was people they didn't know started posting to it, started having experiences that Ong's had, and they knew some stuff that these guys couldn't. How they possibly knew it, they don't know, and they just bring everything into the story. So what this guy did was he created the first kind of campfire story for the internet. Do you know what I mean? It's like something that's a story that's told, and then you add to it, and you add to it, and all this. Okay,
it's
fine.
It's a creepypasta.
What?
Sort of.
Okay. So,
creepypasta?
What is that? Creepypasta? What's that? So,
like Slender Man, Momo.
Oh, right.
There are things that are made up for the sensationalism.
Yep. Slender Man. That I know. Slender Man. Right. And same kind of thing. Just they created a story to create a story, and it took on a life of its own. And as Raven said, and even now, people believe it happened, and the person I talked to who had written an entire book on it, and an academic exercise, his dissertation on it, believes this idea that the more people that believe in something, the more it kind of becomes true. It's a hard thing to kind of grasp, but for this to actually affect people, affect their dreams, and
I got to say that you brought this up earlier when we were talking about Fatima with Bishop Ron. I mean, this has got the same kind of an effect that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
if you believe it, it may turn out to be true. With all the symbology that was going on and some of the structures within the Pine Barrens, and then you put it all together and you subscribe to that bulletin board, you're saying, "Oh my God."
So what if they had done this with War of the Worlds? What if War of the Worlds had happened?
It's kind of
when there were bulletin boards. Take it away from when they first did it on the radio, and step it forward to when
who would believe it
and the internet, and then start running that through. I mean, enough people bought it back in the day on the radio.
That's a good example because that's
a very good example.
That's exactly what Oscar. What's his name? Who is it? Switchy. The guy who did. The guy who did
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles. The only guy in Hollywood who started at the top and worked his way to the bottom. But I mean, when he did that, the best thing that ever happened to him was people believe in it. Okay, because he was all apologies, I'm sorry, and everything. Meanwhile, his name is around the world.
He scared the hell out of a lot of people.
Oh yeah, 8 people died. During
on
the thing.
Purpose as well.
But it's like the same kind of thing. You're right. It's like, oh my God, people are going to believe this. And
it took a life of its own.
They're trying to sensationalize it because they want to breathe life into it.
Right, yeah. Father, are we crazy? What do you think? Is that a good explanation or what? He's speechless again. Father? Bless me, Father. What do you think about that?
We're looking for your take. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I have mixed emotions about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And mostly some of the things I have mixed emotions about are some of the things I don't truly understand.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes to say that reveals, a lot in regards to who a person is.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense?
Well, if we go back to, this idea that, hey, a lot of people together can generate this energy that can do really amazing things, okay? Just be in a ballpark when the team has, come back, has a comeback, it's like there's something going on. A rock concert is another good example. Everyone is like into the same thing, and you can almost feel it, you can almost feel this thing there. Now, you could say that about...
it is also?
Go ahead.
It's a mass... if you could visualize this, it's kind of a mass energy field that that's created by the mass, by many people thinking and being at the same place at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then as a result, everyone's perception can either be the same or way out there, if you know what I'm referring to.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a lot of people see a lot of things in a lot of things. As you're saying, some people can see the face of Jesus in the glass of, and or on a piece of toast or whatever, but there are people who just, they believe it. They believe that is it. It's their faith I guess, coming to the fore, But, if you see something that is like this, I keep going back to this vision in Egypt where they just see this woman, up on top of the roof of this church. I mean, you can see it. It's I don't know. It's almost unexplainable.
Well, Mac, you in Chopper Ops talked about a situation with the pilots flying the aircraft and they're running out of fuel. But they were so dedicated into this mission, so focused on the mission, they kept going and the aircraft stayed in the air. And I've been in near close experiences, and that was
I wrote that
when you and I met. And I think that is an extension of the same kind of thing that we're talking about. That if you are so wired, if you're so committed to what it is that you're doing, you tap into power and capabilities that you normally do not have at your beck and call.
Well, you hope it works. You hope that's the case, right?
Well, it explains the term psychokinesis. If you have a belief system that you are not bound by any physical force, and you can actually literally make things travel from point A to point B. And of course, this has been proven many times over. It's a real thing. And I love that story about the two men in the airplane and them running out of fuel, and yet because of their belief system, they just simply made it happen. And I don't think it had anything to do with the physical mechanics of the engine itself. It went beyond that. And so as a result, I think it's a real wonder.
I completely agree. Bishop Ron, I completely agree with you. Yeah. And I think what's cool about it is that Mac, when he wrote that, I don't think he was tapping into that, but he does this a lot in his work.
I was tapping into something.
And I love talking about Mac in the third person when he's in the studio. That's great. He's on the show, and I'm talking about him in the third person.
I've written 62 books. I can't remember all of them. I mean,
62.
Wow.
Yeah, 62. Yeah, 62.
Wow.
The thing about it is
I'm
that,
almost 62.
Way to suck up to the Bishop one with the holy smoke reference. Cool.
Well, I'm really impressed, by the way. I truly am.
Hey,
that's really incredible. You must have an amazing mind.
He does. His mind is incredible. If you've ever worked with him, and I have, if you ever worked on his computer, and I have done that as well.
I never worked with him, but I live next door to him, so I know I've dealt with the mind. Yeah,
he's sanitized my computer a number of times. That's true. I don't want to say working with it, but yep. Okay.
Wow.
Believe me, the whole creative force comes out of when someone gives you money to do it. Let's face it. And also, it took me maybe 62 books to make the same amount of money like Stephen King makes, maybe
there you go.
in a novella. You know what I mean? Yes. Okay. We're not all created equal in the publishing world.
All you need is one to be made into a movie.
Well, that's true. Okay, then
But
that's
it's not about the money, Mac.
Yeah,
it's about
it's about the money.
contribution to society.
And that can be
isn't
kind
it?
of Hollywood. Wouldn't that be cool, man?
Yeah.
And then I can say, I knew him.
gotta make
I knew
sure
him
that
when.
can be
I knew him when.
I hear Stephen King has a problem.
Yeah, well, they all have
The
problems.
best seat in the house at Fenway Park, right?
Yeah.
He walks around our neighborhood and orders takeout food. He shows up during the summer and hangs out.
What are you talking about?
Stephen King.
Stephen King comes to our neighborhood?
What?
Stephen King.
I'm coming to hang out.
Archbishop Stephen King lives
I've
up
never
the road
seen him. What are you
here,
talking
man.
about?
But you know that,
Stephen
right?
King is known to
Maybe it is.
vacation.
Just show up at some
Yeah, I
island?
know.
on the island.
Maine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, you have to cut this out. I just found out that Derry, Maine wasn't a real place, and I'm super embarrassed about it.
What's the name
That's
of it?
Cut that out.
What
I
place?
thought it was real this whole time.
What? What? Tell us what. What did you think was real?
Confess now.
Derry, Maine. I thought it was a real place. I looked it up on Google Maps, and it's not.
There's
And my
no
heart
Derry,
broke into
Maine?
1,000 pieces.
I've been to Derry, Maine.
Yeah, where
There's Derry, New Hampshire.
where the kids in it take place.
Oh, is that? Oh, yeah.
Live.
Yes, it is a crazy movie, man. That's a. I'll give him that much. That's it, and it too is a little real out there.
Derry, New Hampshire is real, and that's like if you go back to Alan Arkin doing The Russians Are Coming, there was Gloucester Island.
Yeah. Really
you know, and there was no such thing as Gloucester Island.
Right. Really,
it was Plum Island.
Plum Island, right?
It really was. Yeah. That's where they did the movie based on.
Hey, Father, listen. And we got about 3 minutes left here. Is it a sin to go see a violent movie? To go see a bloody movie, a cruel movie?
Depends what kind of movie it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen some love stories that are pretty violent. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it just really depends on what you consider violent, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I can imagine like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a fiction violence is probably like a snuff film is probably a no-no, right. Which is fine because I'm good. I don't want to see that. You know?
It's a pretty interesting leap that you made there, Ray.
Wow,
I was going to just make the remark that there's quite a bit of violence in the Old Testament, so you have to you got to cue everything up.
That's true.
One last question.
I don't think there's any snuff film or snuff references in the Old Testament, though. I'll leave that to Bishop Ron to handle those.
Okay.
I don't think you'll find that in the Old Testament, but you'll find other horrible and incredible things, mystery murders and killings and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very violent book.
What a book! If you had to rate the Old Testament, I would probably rate it a definitely very strong PG.
Yeah, really?
Oh, gosh, yes,
okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not quite an hour. Okay, cool.
That's why there used to be children's versions of the Bible, because they had to get they had to filter some of the Old Testament.
That's a great idea. Hey.
I have a book like that. It's all these children's stories based on the Bible, and they cite the scripture verses and everything, and it's kind of sanitized, but it was given to me for my confirmation.
Oh, really? Okay. Wow, that's a great. I hate to say that, but that's a great.
It was a very practical and spiritual gift, and it worked out well for
see what it did for you? It's a great marketing idea. Hey, listen,
I follow the tenets of the Bible all the time. Seriously.
Alvin, he does. I've seen him in bars. Alvinato has a question, a quick one. We got 2 minutes.
Father, real quick. Fatima, the third prophecy of Fatima.
The third secret.
Is not, the Vatican is not releasing supposedly what it, I mean, is there such a thing? Is it just blown out of proportion? Or
yes, it is. And the third secret was supposed to be revealed in the early 60s.
Yep.
Yes.
And there's so much that I could say about this, but if I do, I'll be probably placed on a blacklist.
Okay.
And I have to look over my shoulder every once in a while because the secrets of the Vatican are truly secretive.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but we should just say that the surviving of the 3 kids wrote 3 letters. Of the surviving person who saw the vision at Fatima wrote 3 letters, sent them to the Vatican as prophecies, and they read the first 2, and I think it was against predicting the war and stuff like
World
that.
War II or something.
And they won't release the third one, and everyone's going, come on, why not? And I know that there was a story that it would be Pope Paul I, who was like the Pope for about a month. Supposedly he read it and had a heart attack. Can you confirm or deny that, Father?
That was John Paul. You're talking about John Paul I.
John Paul I, yeah.
I heard a similar story regarding Bruce Lee in regards to the Iron Fist.
They killed him.
He revealed the secret of the masters, and as a result, the Grand Master confronted him and gave him an Iron Fist blow.
Oh.
And it hit him in such a way that he didn't react. That is, Bruce Lee didn't react, but like a couple of weeks later, he dropped dead.
Wow, huh?
Right. As a result of this blowing, So, yeah, it's a similar story.
Well,
Crazy, maybe a little more action, but so.
Well, it's a Bruce Lee movie. Well, listen, let me just thank everyone for joining us. Father, thank you for joining us and enlightening us spiritually and otherwise. Father Ron Feyl-Enright. Is there some place that people can find you?
Yeah, I'm all over the internet. Just Google my name. I do have a couple of websites, and I'm also offering seminary classes to clergy, and that too is online. So, I mean, just to do an internet search, or the Order of Exorcists is another one of my my websites.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's crazy. If we need an exorcism, we can call you. Is that the angle?
You can call me anytime.
Okay, all right. You can call me Al. Okay.
Just don't call me too late.
Write that down.
Yeah, don't call me too late.
Thank you, Father, for joining us. Thank you, Willie Clubb, for looking over us tonight. How's the security level?
Really strong. We've been keeping a lot of things out of here tonight, but it's really strong. I got a vibe or something.
That's a good show, right?
Yep.
Thank you for joining
keeping
us.
it clean too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Coco, thank you. Coco, thank you for joining us. You and the pig. And don't think that.
I appreciate it. And his name is Zeppelin. And Zeppelin is safely moored in his bed, and he is asleep now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always thank you, Mac.
Doesn't it look like he has a parachute harness on? Look at his shirt.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's ready to bail out anytime.
He's ready to bail out. Okay.
He's bailing on us.
I thought it was a straitjacket.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Him and Zeppelin are taking a high.
Figures Club would know
You're
that.
fresh.
Switchy, thank you very much, Switchy, and thanks for putting up the train wreck image. That's how we know
My
that
pleasure.
the train is coming to the station. We
Wow,
appreciate
yeah,
that.
we've sure gone off the rails.
Okay, congratulations to Denny's. Their stock probably goes up every Tuesday morning, right? Because of you.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
I'm going to go to Denny's.
Yes.
I haven't been there for a while.
Juan, thank you as always. I'm saving the
bet.
best for last.
Pleasure
Thank you.
to be here.
Okay.
Pleasure to be anywhere, as a matter
We'll
of
talk.
fact.
Yeah, you might have to come and sanitize my computer again, okay? Sometime soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm on it.
Raven, it's the time of night we have to bid you adieu.
That time.
Yes.
Oh my God. Thank you for having me. I had so much fun.
Yep, we all did. Okay,
Hey,
everything
thanks,
okay
Raven.
with Friday and Scotch and Water, her dog and her cat? Yep.
Yeah. Friday's right here. She's sitting on my other desk, and
Okay.
Scotch is probably having a meltdown somewhere.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know.
Okay. It's true to form. Did you ever find out who threw your shoe out in the hall the other night? Ghost?
Nope.
No? Wow.
Nope.
Okay.
Never found out. Something grabbed my arm the next day, and
She emailed me about
I
that.
saged my house. So hopefully everything is good.
She emailed me
Nothing
and I
else
said,
has
I'll jump in
happened.
my car. I'll pick up Juan. We're on our way. It's only a good, 400 or 500 miles, right? We'd be
Come
there.
down. We'll go to Beer Tree. We'll get some Finding
Okay.
Bigfeets.
Okay, good.
And you can do breakfast
we'll
at
go.
Denny's.
And we can go to Denny's.
Get an All-American Slam.
Yep.
And Denny's.
I'll bring-
Yeah.
We'll bring
back a
Zeppelin
case of,
along for the...
Finding,
Yeah.
Bigfoot.
No. What do you want
Wow.
to tease them for? All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Raymond. We really appreciate it. Let me just quickly do the plugs now. Hey, if you want some Mack Maloney Military X-Files swag, just go to mackmaloney.com, hit our contact button, send us your address, and we'll send you out. We got buttons. We got bar coasters,
Badges.
decals. Yeah, badges, pins, the works. Okay, just go to mackmaloney.com, hit contact, send us an email, and we'll ship it out quicker than Switch can have breakfast. Also, Homes for Our Troops. Homes for Our Troops is a military charity that builds homes for wounded veterans from the Afghan and the Iraqi war. They design and build these houses for them to make it easier for them to get around, lower counter space, better stairs, things along those lines. And then when they build them the house, they give them the keys, they tear up the mortgage, it's theirs forever. They deserve it. Please, Homes for Our Troops. Just Google them and hopefully, give them a few bucks. Also, Ross Sharp and his Mad Englishman friends are putting back together a warplane called the Mosquito from World War II, made of wood because they're running out of steel. They put 2 Rolls-Royce engines on it and it turned out to be the fastest thing in the war. For 2 years, it was so fast that they didn't put machine guns on it because
they could outrun the bullets.
They could outrun the bullets. Okay, that's how fast this thing. Okay, that's a people's mosquito.
There you are. There you are with your neckerchief, blowing and
Yeah, it's called a scarf.
piloting the.
Right.
There's a bullet coming up and you just hit the gas and.
It is.
trailing
If I was like a cartoon, it goes. So anyway, so they were putting back together this Mosquito kind of attack plane in Wan. They're going to start bringing up civilians in it when it's ready to fly. He's volunteered to be the first civilian to go up in it without a parachute. Is that right? Okay.
I'll go up.
Okay, you'll go up. You might come down too, but that's the difference. How you come down.
That's true.
That's the last.
And we'll be flying not high enough for a parachute to be effective, right?
Oh.
It wouldn't be. There's no room for a parachute.
You just jump out. Just jump out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I can understand that. Okay. So I guess that's the show. So this is. Did I say goodbye to everyone? Did I say goodbye to you?
Close enough.
Huh? Did
Close
I say
enough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now Aldo's here. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, no problem.
Okay.
I'm around.
Thank you for coming.
I'm retired. I can go anywhere.
Everyone else I said goodbye to. So thanks, really, everyone, for joining us. And so this is Mac for the rest of the gang saying be safe, be happy, and...
Bye-bye.